Hi guys, it's Penny with Four Eyes Designs, and it's been a while since I've done a process video, so today I'm going to show you a card, and as I make it, I have a rough idea of what I want to do, just for the sake of saving time on my videos. But typically a card will take me an hour from start to finish. I usually just sit down and grab something from my desk and try to make use of it, basically. And so I keep wanting to clean off my desk, so any scraps that I can use for my next card, I'll try to do that. Sometimes I get stuck and then I will start and pull a lot more stuff out. And I'm starting with new things today. This paper had been used prior, but it's been sitting on my desk and I thought it would be perfect for this card. So like I said, I have a little bit of an idea where I'm going with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this green cardstock down. And I already have a card base here. This is craft and it's a A2 size card, which means 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's a bottom opening card. And then I'm going to use this piece of patterned paper, and I'm going to use one of these new border dies to cut it. And I'm not sure which one yet. If you didn't see, this was in my most recent haul video. I'll try to link it in the description box so that you can have that. You know, I really love these large scallops, so I'm going to use that one. And I don't have wire snips, so I just bend the little wires and make it work that way. I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape here, and I'm going to tape it. And let me see. I'm going to tape it on the bottom because this part is going to be trash. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, which I have sitting next to me here. Okay, I just ran that through my Big Shot. And here's the panel that we're going to use. If you would like to see me do that on my Big Shot, just let me know in the comments below. I think most people know how to do that already, but if you don't, I'd be happy to show you. So I'm going to layer this piece on top. And that will make our card base. I think I'm going to then put, let me see, I'm trying to decide if I wanted to put a layer of this here then. But I don't think I have enough. So I'm going to again use this piece. I'm going to just alter my plans here for a minute. And I'm going to use, I'm just going to add this as a border to my piece, underneath this piece here, just to add a little pop of color, so it doesn't really matter if it's straight or not. I'm just going to tuck it under, so I'm going to use this in my Big Shot again. Now I'm going to cut that to size. I'll just tuck it in and then cut it with my scissors. Okay, I like the way that's looking. I'm going to make sure this is adhered down now. And my scissors are right here. Okay. Okay, so there's that. I'm also going to use this panel and I'm going to cut a decorative circle. I use a lot of dies when I'm creating. Since we're on the scallop theme, I'm going to use this scallop die, but I want to make sure it's going to work with this stamp. Or one of them at least. I'm not particular on which one I use. These are the unicorn stamps, which is again one that I just got in my haul. I think it's okay if part of the horse comes out of the circle. My only other option is I could use a heart. I have those. But I don't think a heart goes on this card. I will just do the circle here and see how it goes. Now one thing I do, sometimes these are really hard to get. This is a paper tray ink die, and occasionally they don't have pokey holes in them to pop the die piece out. So I just grab a piece of washi tape and I just stick it on and pull it out that way. So this is my circle. I'm going to hold off on sticking that down and I'm going to put it aside for a second while I work on the horse image. Okay, so put that aside and I will work on my stamp here. Which one did I decide on? So what I'm going to do is I think I like this one the best, and I'll just color this image in with my Copic markers, and then I'm going to fussy cut it, and then I'm going to adhere it using foam adhesive so it's lifted up over the circle there. Since this is a brand new stamp, I'm first going to take a piece of scratch paper and I'm going to stamp it on that just to make sure I'm going to get a good image. Kind of prime the stamp a little bit. Now this is my very first time coloring and stamping these images. So yeah, that looks really good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this stamp, and I have some plain white cardstock here. It's actually textured cardstock. I'm using the back side because I don't want texture when I'm coloring. Okay. I'm going to use blue and green Copics in this horse's hair, and I'm going to start with the BGs. I've got BG10, BG11, and BG15. And I'm just going to go ahead and color that. So normally I start from lightest to darkest, and I think I'm going to do the same, I guess. So I'm basically just going to color in the mane. I'm kind of just getting a rough color in at this point. It'll provide a base layer for the colors to mix in. This is actually my second time filming this portion. I was filming from the other side before, and because I'm left-handed, nobody could see what I was doing, and I didn't think about that. So it actually works out okay. I'm just gonna do it again, and using blues and greens. So right now I'm doing the blues. I'm gonna pull in the greens in just a minute. I'm just kind of using this darker color where I think there'll be a little bit more of a shadow. And then I'm going to take the darkest color, the BG15, and deepen this up. Okay, and now I'm going to take the BG13 again, and I'm just going to try to bring this out a little bit here. Now I don't know if you can see, but right next to here, there's a little bit of a blue coming out, so I'm going to fix that quick. And the way we do that is by using the colorless blender. If we push the color out back toward where it belongs, it will. So this is kind of, it's almost like a resist to the colorless blender. Now I'm going to bring in my G's, and we have G12 and G14. I'm going to do the same thing, same process, but I'm going to mix in the greens here. Okay, my camera stopped for a moment here, so I just put a little bit of the BG15 in the tail. Now I'm going to use the BG13, or BG11. Yeah, BG11. And I'm going to throw in just a touch of the BG10. And now I'm going to use my G's. This is G12. Actually, I think I'm going to start with the G14 this time. And now the G12. Now I'm going to go back to my BG11. I don't understand why the face of the horse still has color in it. That my blender was not working there. Maybe I can try the other tip and see how that does. Alright, so I'm going to use my T0 and my T3 to color in the horse. I think of it as a unicorn, even though this one does not have a unicorn horn, but I guess that's the coloring that I've gone with, sort of. I'm going to start with the T3. This horse is going to be white, so I don't want to add too much color here, but we do need to put some shading in. So again, this is the T3. I'm going to be fussy cutting this out as well, so it doesn't matter if I go outside of the lines on the outside of the image, but it does for the inside. I think I might be able to still get the blue out of here. Let me just see what it looks like after I'm done with this T0. So the more you go over it, the more it blends. I think that looks good. I'm just going to use my colorless blender to try to do a little bit more blending here. Now the other side of this is an original Copic, not the sketch Copic, and it's got a very fine tip on one end and a blunt tip on the other. I forget what that's called, like a chisel tip, I guess. And I'm not overly comfortable with the chisel tips for coloring, but that works just as well for bigger spaces if you are comfortable with using it. I just happen to always stick with this edge because I'm not the neatest colorer. I still have a little bit of a blue in there, and I think that's just gonna have to be okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of pink in the ear and a little bit in the cheeks. Use my colorless blender again real quick. Okay. Alright, I finished cutting out the horse, and then I also cut a few pieces here using my Big Shot. I decided to mat this patterned paper on black so that it popped up a little bit more, but then I also thought it would be cool to put just a little bit of an extra touch there with this border. So I'm gonna add some adhesive there, and I'm just gonna stick it across the bottom here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place the pattern paper. I can go ahead and add this to the front of the card. So I'll take my glue pen and just add a couple little dots of glue here. And then add that to the front of the card here. And then I'm going to do the same with the horse. Stick him down for a few minutes. And then I'm going to take some of the new enamel dots that I just got. Let's see. These were also in my haul video. I kind of feel like this would be the best color, this teal color, kind of similar to the horse's mane. I'll use these small ones here. I'm just going to add that right there. Alright, I'll check on the stickiness of these, and if they're still movable in a little bit, I will add some adhesive under them so they don't come off. The final thing then would be, I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday down here. I'll use this Hero Art stamp set that I have. I don't know if I want to keep it, if I want to stamp it in black or emboss it with white. Let me think about that. I think I'm going to actually emboss it using black embossing powder. So I'll use my anti-static powder tool, and I need to get a block here. Okay, I've got a stamping block. I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool. I'll use my Versamark ink, which is a sticky ink. Ink up the stamp there, and then stamp it down. And I have a card base here that I used for catching my embossing powder. Let's put that down. And then I'll go ahead and put the excess powder back in the container. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and warm up my heat tool. I'm going to heat emboss this. Okay, the last step I'm going to do is stamping a greeting on the inside. This is a paper tray ink stamp. And it says, "Hope this day is as special as you are," which I think is pretty appropriate for the front of the card. And so that's my finished card. I'm going to go ahead and add some glossy accents to the mane and the tail, and I'll show you some final pictures of what it looks like when it's all done.